Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 228. And today we're doing battle in the Timewinder Gauntlet. And so, if you're not familiar with the Timewinder Gauntlet, this is the Foundations only edition. So we're only playing cards out of the first set, the Foundation set, the first 6 factions, and those cards out of that initial March of 2020 release. All of the cards are in their current iteration, in their current state, and so Fiora cost 4 mana, Deny cost 4 mana, Omen Hawk only boosts 2 units instead of 3. All of the current state of the cards are what we're going to be doing battle with. The format itself, you are bringing 3 decks, and then your opponent gets to pick and ban one, you get to ban one, and then you pick a deck remaining from the last 2. This is meant to be a best of 3 format. Riot said they made a bit of a whoopsies, and this is only going to be best of 1. And so it starts out like best of 3, but you only play 1 game after that. If you're looking for some more of these Timewinder, Highlander Gauntlet videos, whatever we're calling it, our previous one covered off on some of this as well. In that one, we played Garen with the elites of sorts. We played Elise with the Iceborne Legacy, and then we played Zed Elusives. And so, to get you up to speed for today, here's the 3 decks that we're going to be bringing. We're going to bring Ashe Darius, we're going to do Fiora Shen, and Zed Katarina. And so, the Ashe Darius deck, this would be the Noxcria Arena Blood on the Ice thing, if you are familiar with our work back in Expedition. You're looking to take advantages of the flash freezes and the frostbites coming out of the Freylord deck. There's no Noxcria arenas running around in Foundations only, but we do still have a handful of cards that are pretty happy to take advantage of the Frostbites. And so Shatter, getting its time in the sun now. This has recently been upgraded to only cost 1 mana. Rhinefang Wolf we're also bringing out, and that it's recently had its attack and power swapped to 2/3. And so both of these should be quite strong in the current format. Otherwise, we have the classic Noxian staples in this style of deck with the 3 Trifarian Glory Seekers and then the 2 Calling Strikes. So if you flash freeze an opposing unit down to 0 attack, you can look to get a free cleanup with the Calling Strike. So after we have all of this early game board control, we do have a big collection of overwhelms to try and close out the game. There's of course Darius himself, Ancient Yeti, and Captain Farron for the overwhelm package, and then we can also try and finish with Ashe. If we get that Ashe flip, the frostbite attacks tend to be enough to close out the game. Deck number 2, we are bringing Fiora Shen. This is the all-in version of Fiora Shen. This would have been a standalone based deck back in the olden days, but now that Fiora has been reworked to cost 4 mana, standalone costs 4 mana, that deck just is not viable anymore. But there's still a lot of power in these Fiora decks. We'll give the Go Tall OTK Combo West style deck a run today, see how that one goes. Last but not least, we have Zed Katarina. This is our Shiraza the Blade combo, totally dating Kato the Arm deck. And so what we're looking to do here is we have a lot of early game power. We have the 9 big 1-drops with the Rearguard, the Precious Pet, and the Saboteur. That ties in nicely with the aggression that Zed brings. We're going to try and punch in a lot of early game damage. But then to close out the game, we're going to try and use the Kato the Arm, Shiraza the Blade combo. So Shiraza does double damage to the Nexus. You need to actually damage the Nexus to get this damage in. That's where Kato comes along and gives her the +3 attack and overwhelm. And so if that's not enough, if they have too big of units, you can't quite punch through. We also have the likes of Ghost to try and give her elusive, send in that remaining damage. And so these are the 3 decks we'll be bringing today. We'll try and showcase them a little bit more in the battles. And so let's go ahead and jump on in. And so Noxcria Arena, standalone. I appreciate it. Totally dating, ready to go. See the Scouts deck out there. We can't play Scouts till next week, but ready for that one. All right, so off we go. Into battle. Ready for it. See what turns up. So what you got for us? You got Garen Lucian. We brought some of that in our previous video. We got the Jinx Draven. I'm going to go ahead and ban that one out of the way. I don't think our lineup is really well set up to deal with that deck. And then I would assume this is some kind of Elise Ezreal control deck, which I think we can probably manage pretty well. So we'll ban out the Jinx Draven. What you bringing in, opponent? They ban our Fiora Shen. Now let's just give it a start. Let's jump on in with the old Ashe Darius. I think it should be pretty reasonable against both of these, right? If he's playing his control deck one, I think that we just have plenty of time to really get our strategy going. And then if he's looking to bring the elites, the Frostbites tend to be excuse me, they tend to be pretty strong against decks trying to go big. So you put your 6/6 unit on the board, we get to shut it down for a turn with a timely frostbite. All seems okay to me. Get in there, Omen Hawk. Sorry you don't get to boost 3 units anymore. You used to be so good at that. But here, I'm going to drop the Sentry. I'm a little bit worried about opponent playing Mystic Shots and Vile Feasts out of this deck, and so if we can get a bit of a stall on that, right? I don't really want to be losing the Trifarian Glory Seeker. That's a high-powered attacker. I'd rather lose one of these cycling units in the face of his cheap removals. All right, Elise comes in. I was going to say, I'm curious if he brings the block with the Elise. There's a lot of ways to kill her once she's down to 1 health. So he doesn't seem interested. That's okay. Might get a Calling Strike if he doesn't open. Probably. I mean, do we even care about Ezreal at this point? We're going to Calling Strike one of these, right? But we could look to, say, do this. What if we say Flash Freeze Ezreal? Just to buy us a little bit of time. Now if he wants to attack with Elise, she's just going to trade into the Ice Veil Archer. And then we can follow up with the Calling Strike to take something down if we want. But that's not a bad pass. Okay. I'm on board. And now the double Omen Hawks, just to give all the boosts to the upcoming units. Or we could just play a Hearthguard. Let's drop Hearthguard. Feels like we're going to be out here and battling for a while. And so if we can keep the boosts coming onto our units, I think that's going to give us a bit of advantage. Going to keep the boosts coming, yo. Oh shit. Damn it. I clicked the thing. I meant to Calling Strike this Ezreal. It's not the end of the world if we don't get a takedown here. It's like, not like this Mystic Shot's killing anything of super relevance, but I did actually intend to pop him with the Calling Strike. All right, so the thing with this board now is like we don't want to get over-invested in it, right? If he's going to come in and drop a Ruination on us, then we don't want to just lose absolutely everything. But I think this is probably enough, right? His blocks with Elise are garbage, even in the face of our Omen Hawks. Well, looks like he's investing heavily into this Hearthguard. But I think this is about as much as I would want on board. Kind of in the face of a deck that's probably playing the Ruination.
Come, stay a while.
It's going to drop a Withering Wail. Sure. All right, let's drop the House Spider just to spend a little bit of mana, and we can stop there. I don't want to give him like tons and tons of opportunities to be ready with the Ruination. Is it too much if we add Ashe? I'm envisioning this space to where... Let's see what he does. We can Ice Veil Archer here. That's going to get us up to 2. And then next turn, we can potentially get an Ashe flip on an open attack and just kill him that way. So, okay. I feel much safer now. He drops a Brood Awakening. That's fine. Can bring in Ashe.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
Bring in a Glory Seeker. All right, you got an Elise flip. I see it, my dude. I see what you've done. But let's see how this goes down. So, want to Harsh Winds 2 of these. Get that crystal arrow up and ready for action.
I'll lead us to victory.
All right, so we'll hook the little spider. The Ashe arrow will go onto Elise. Shouldn't be able to block anything here, and so can look to say like Vengeance Ashe or something, but it's going to be pretty tough to get out of this. Says he's getting out of it though. He's got something. Vengeance, okay. Into Drain. Only 10 into 14? Dang. Dang, son.
Continue without me.
Felt like that was going to be the knockout blow. Sad day. That definitely makes this one look a lot worse. You got to pick up a Captain Farron or something if we want to feel much better about this. We'll just go ahead and cycle away the crystal arrow. Oh, Jesus. We've probably got to just wait a turn now, right? Let's just wait a turn. Like, I don't think I'm worried about Captain Farron in combat. Ooh. Interesting. The Might was a pretty big draw. It might be enough to get us out of this one. He's going to try and block an Ice Veil Archer with a Spiderling. That's how you can kind of steal these games. It's like he doesn't have the atrocity here. Okay, maybe. I'd love to see him spend a little bit more mana.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
What do you think? You think we got it? Was the Might enough? It may be. It may be. He most definitely has to do something to Ancient Yeti, right? Ancient Yeti is threatening lethal in the face of these Spiderlings. He can't just block it with Captain Farron anymore, so he has to deal with the Yeti. And then I mean, the Might coming through might be enough. Might be enough with Might, you know? That fucking card. Okay. Well, I don't know why we needed to think on that one for a half hour, but apparently we did. So let's see. If we can pick up Captain Farron next turn, we can still win the game, but we're probably just dead at this point. Okay. It was a big tough. That was a tough decision. I'll give you that. If you pretty tough. I guess he has to worry about if the Might in hand is another unit and we have the mana to play it, then it could be enough for a lethal, but all right. Ancient Yeti, you're a little short. Let's see. Maybe he'll do something dumb, right? You got to decide which of his 6 removal spells he wants to play at this point. It's a big decision. Big decision coming in. All right. All right. We'll just go ahead and cut that one short. Knowing the way Firestar SS is playing, that would take another 15 minutes to finish off. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next one. See if we can't continue on our gauntlet run. Jesus. All right, so I'd like to just come in and ban out the Anivia deck. This is very similar to what we would have seen in the previous game. It's got shit like the Harrowing and Ruinations in it. Nothing that we particularly want to deal with, and so get that one out of the way. He bans our Ashe deck, that's fine. And let's go ahead and... Do we want to run Fiora Shen, or do we want to run the combo? Let's run the combo into him. I think Fiora Shen is probably the better matchup, but... You know, if we're only going to get 2 games in, then let's let's make sure we get the combo deck in while we're at it. Up against Lux Karma. Okay. So definitely happy to hang it on to Zed. And then otherwise, we're going to look for some 1-drops. Found them. right. And then what we always describe these decks as, if you don't know what unit to play, if you're not sure which sequence and order you should get these dudes in, just do the one that does the most damage. And so we wouldn't want to lead off with the Precious Pet. We want to be starting off with these 3 attack units in the rear guards and the saboteurs. He says, "Oh fuck, this is not a good game to not play anything until the 3rd turn." Oh snap. Oh snap bust. Your Legion rear guards are too much. Alright, here's Zed. He's ready. If you want a single combat, you better do it now. Alright, well, this is looking pretty good. Nice and strong open attack with deny backup. I think we're okay, fam. I think we're okay. Laser beam. Make sure you drop laser beams in there at the appropriate times. Ah, health potions. Okay. Okay. Wasn't counting on health potion. Think we're still fine. Let's see. Alright, so we'll get a nice bank of the mana. Ooh, Shiraza. Ooh, it's always so exciting when she turns up. Cupcake it. Sounds like we're getting GG'd. Alright. Our battles are not over just yet. Alright, next set. Let's see if we can't get our Fiora deck in a decent matchup so we can showcase everything. Look at this. Not looking to play a Fiora Shen mirror match. I'll go ahead and let you know that one. And so we'll ban out the Jinx Draven. Opponent had the same idea here, but I'm kind of interested in why you would want to risk running Fiora Shen into Ashe. And so I would suspect he's gonna just bring the Elise deck, because that is pretty scary in my opinion if you're going to try and go for an OTK combo style deck into Frostbites. But I assume this is just the aggro Elise deck. This deck's been around forever. We have a pretty reasonable early start to deal with most of their shenanigans. Can't block the fearsomes, sure, but we can cause a bit of havoc in here. Against everything else, I guess. he needs a non-fearsome unit for us to cause some havoc. Now this is where it gets interesting. It's like, would we have been able to play a Glory Seeker and then get a hook onto Fiora? Or not onto Fiora, onto Elise? Probably not. Would have been cool if we could have, but it's not super likely. Omen Hawk's big, though. Omen Hawk let us get a big unit, a unit big enough to block a fearsome.
Nothing escapes my watch. Ready the torches.
Let's see here. Let's get that in the right order. Let him keep the rear guard for the moment. Not gonna drop brittle steels onto any of these guys. We might want to consider it next turn if we have to worry about him dropping a Darius, right? But as it stands for now, I think this is okay. Now this is also interesting. I think we play the House Spider, but it's like I want to get a Glory Seeker down this round. Okay, okay. Shit's turning around, fam jam. Look at this shatter. Oof. Oof. This might be the best shatter of all time. Might be the best shatter. All right, good job, squad. Got this 3-powered dude ready to block a fearsome. Sounds good.
I have my orders.
I stand for no
Crowd favorite number 2. A little scared of you. Can't do much about him. Do we ever want to Calling Strike this Saboteur before it attacks, though? All right, we're not going to have the flash freezes for the crowd favorite anytime soon. Probably just have to block the crowd favorite with... I mean, we might just take it, actually. If we're just going to take it, I'm not that worried about the Saboteur. I would rather Calling Strike a Precious Pet. Okay. But without a... where are we at? Maybe we just prevent 2. Take 7, fall to 7. We got to play out some of these cards, right? Well, this is the interesting thing, right? If we keep the Brittle Steel, we can just Brittle Steel the crowd favorite down from now on. Maybe that's the way to go about it. Do fall down into that Darius danger zone, though. Because I'm ready to come at you. Come at you with the big overwhelms. I think we have to save the archer for next turn.
I'll cut them a face me.
Yeah, he's not going to be lethal. And so if opponent wants to try and be clever, and then on next turn play Darius, and we have the Ice Veil Archer to get the shutdown, now it's just not even a matter of being clever. We just have the flash freeze ready to go. Cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Darius. I say no thank you. No thank you on that attack. We're a little bit short of lethal on this board. We can hook Darius out of combat, though. Right? If we say hook Darius, we have this Brittle Steel play kind of ready to go. It's another way to prevent that big damage.
You're mine.
I want to prevent your big damage, bro. All right, all right. Maybe we're in it. Maybe we're in it. Uh-oh. Takes us to 5. Do you think we're okay, fam? Ooh. You say I got a Darius too, bro. I got one too. We'll block him just in case. It's only preventing 1 damage here, but if he has an Elixir of Iron or something, it's kind of nice to prevent that damage. And I guess it's also kind of nice to just fucking kill Darius. So we got that going for us as well.
I'll handle this myself.
Decimates us to 1. Alright, well I guess we got to open. I don't think there's any ways to just deal damage to us, but an open attack beats like a vengeance. It beats pretty much everything that doesn't just deal damage to our face. Woof! Y'all didn't think Albust was going to pull that one out, did you? You didn't think he was going to do it. Nice. Nice. I'm glad I blocked that Darius. I almost slipped up and didn't block him. And so that would have been a problem if we Brittle Steeled him and then didn't block to get the kill. This is the same guy? We played this guy earlier, right? We ban out the Jinx Draven. Firestar SS, he was the one that brought the stupid Elise deck. Alright. We'll bring the Shiraza the Blade combo. Say F your stupid decks. Alright, nice 1-drop ready for battle. I could see an argument to keep a rush. Just as it's like he plays something like, you know, the Precious Pet isn't the best example, but as he like has a decent blocker down and we're attacking with these small bros, it's a nice tempo play to get on him. Really, Blade's Edge? Okay, can't play Blade's Edge. He's not playing Noxus, but what's the 1 mana spell here? Is it concurrent timelines? Hapless Aristocrat. Okay, that's not it. You can't push an Aristocrat out and pull it back. It was a spell. Interesting. Now, what are the chances next turn that we would play Katarina and get to attack with her? I don't think it's that high. Probably just want to go for a bit of value with her and try to use those Blade's Edges. Who does this stuff, man? Who comes out here and just wants to play Ezreal Elise? Ugh. Ugh, dude.
No going back.
Kind of interesting here. If like we really want to, we can just Will of Ionia the Katarina back to our hand. I was kind of hoping for more of a tempo play out of her, but I guess this is okay. We're not doing a ton otherwise. Uh-oh. Sad face. Well, I'm sad face we didn't get to Blade's Edge, so you back off. What do we got? More Arachnoid Sentries?
Let the bloodshed begin.
Not that exciting. Do your thing, Katarina.
Witness the blade.
All right. Not the most ideal, but Katarina's flipped now. I can definitely see us getting a real surprise of a turn to where we're able to, say, stun stuff with the Arachnoid Sentries and get multiple attacks in. Might be able to do something interesting there. She definitely wasn't generating 0 mana Blade's Edges back in her previous era.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Now we just need some like Ravenous Flux, right? Playing all these sentries. Maybe we could play Yasuo, right? No. 0% chance we come out here and try and play Yasuo. Y'all's is crazy. A Brood Awakening. All right. It's not a not a ruination, at least. So how do we go for this? We can like surprise boom them at some point with Shiraza. I think that's something we would want to save for, say, next turn, to where if we by some way get to, say, play Shiraza and then get rallies along with her, so we get to hit twice. Feels very all in, but maybe we need to wait for a deny.
Never play fair.
Ugh. Lame. You're a fucking lame-o, Firestar SS. I know we were over this before, but the facts don't change. The facts don't change, my dude. Ugh. I can tell you he probably spent a lot of time playing Fan Club President in the previous meta. Anyone want to take a wager on the amount of times opponent played Fan Club President? I bet it was a lot. All right, Shiraza time. So got to draw Kato now. If we can draw Kato and deny next turn, things are going to get real. Sure. Got a black spear as well, it appears. A beam. Okay. Hey, Firestar SS, what'd you do for fun this weekend? No, oh man, you know a lot. I just played chess. Oh, cool. Did you play in an online tournament? No. Did you discuss your plays with someone on Discord? No, man, I wouldn't do that. Oh. Did you go to the local park and play with the old men? No, man, why would I do that? Oh. Did you go to the local chess club community center? Nah. What'd you do, man? Oh, I just played by myself. What? Yeah, no one in the world is as good as me, so why would I want to bother with playing it against anyone else? Firestar SS. You heard it right here. That's what he did this weekend. I just played chess by myself, bro. What did you expect? Alright, GG. Enough of that nonsense. Alright, next battle. Loads of excitement. Loads of awesome. People gonna let us do our Shiraza combo. I'm feeling good about it. So what do we got? All right, we got Tryndamere Shadow Isles. I'm sure that's a really cool control deck. Jinx Draven along with Lucian Garen. I suspect he's probably never just gonna play the Lucian deck, and he'll play either the left deck or the middle one, whatever we don't ban. And I think we'll just continue to go up against the Shadow Isles if we have to get the ban on the Jinx Draven. So I think. I mean, this is a bit of a spot, I guess. This isn't one as to where like the Ashe is going to be as good, but I think I feel like a little bit safer with the Ashe deck. It's just like whenever we have to go up against Shadow Isles, they have so much access to just like Vile Feasts and the AoEs that I don't really want to have to count on a deck that's playing a bunch of 1 health units, and so it feels a little bit safer to go out this way. But here, I'm going to take the full mulligan, look for an Omen Hawk or just some of the cheaper sets of units that we have. Not that excited about the Glory Seeker getting hit with Vile Feast, but you gotta risk it sometimes, And if memory serves, I keep seeing this Rhinefang Wolf up against the Tryndamere deck. I think Rhinefang, there was like a patch where Rhinefang Wolf used to just kill Tryndamere. If you frostbit Tryndamere, he didn't level up through the Rhinefang Wolf. I'm pretty sure that they fixed that since then as to where he's not causing... he levels up through the wolf now.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
All right, seems like he thought excessively hard about playing as Avarosian Sentry here. I'm curious if he manages to have a Vile Feast in hand as we go through all of this. Right, it's just these Glory Seekers. We'd like to get a little bit more value out of them than getting eaten by Vile Feast, but let's see what we draw. How Spider fits the bill. All right, better think on this 1 mana a little bit longer. You never know. All right, House Spider it is. Lots of thought going into this one. This is a big decision.
Nothing escapes.
Okay. In with the Sentry. I think we're fine to just trade. That's what happens at the end of the day if we still have our little Spiderling on the board. Just not like we're not gonna like gain anything by just sitting around. Now these Glory Seekers are just primed and ready to get boomed by a Withering Wail. I think we can add 1. And then if he Vile Feasts, we can probably just add the other one. But I think if we sit here with just the 1, I'm not going to add anything else to the board. We'll just overbank the 1 mana. Avalanche. Gotcha. Not that bad.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Now we get a little bit more of a discount on our Ancient Yeti if it's going to come down in this upcoming turn. Not like a mega ideal board for us. You'd prefer, at this point, you would have done a little bit more damage to opponent, but... Oh, dang. Was not expecting to get the 10 hit in there. Do you still flip? I see the enemy Nexus has less. So he hasn't seen it, right? Since he wasn't in play. Sucks for you, Darius. All right, the critical turn. What you got for us? Too poor to play MTG. I can tell it's going to be a good one. I feel it. Feel it in my bones, in the depth of my heart piece. This is going to be a good one. He just passes. All right. Well, I don't feel safe playing Darius anymore. Let's just add House Spider. Then if he wants to Ruination this board, I mean, maybe we should have just opened for it. This is like one of these spaces as to where I'm not like really familiar with the format enough, and to where everybody's playing the Ruination. And so maybe like we should have held on to our 10 damage and said that that was enough. But it's tough when it's just not a card that I've ever really had to play around. Now we can bring in Trendemirs. It's not the end of the world, but a little annoying. Want to try and chunk this damage in. Just playing Trendemir, I'd assume he, like, would this deck be playing War Mother's Call? Like, he does have all the ramp stuff in it. That tends to lead to, like, a War Mother's Call deck. But my thing with War Mother's Call has always been, if you're going to be playing things like Weirding Stones, it really just kind of cheapens up what you're able to hit with it. And so it's kind of tough to strike a balance. I guess you don't, like, really care. And if you're to the point where you're adding a unit to the board every turn of the game, it's okay if some of them aren't very good. But always struck me as kind of weird. All right. Avarosians stick together. Here it comes. All right, got him to 7. What do you have for us now, game? It's like the thing that ultimately worries me about this is running into harsh winds, right? As we try and sit around with just 2 big units on the board, you have to kind of face off as to whether or not your opponent's going to hit you with the harsh winds or if they're going to hit you with the Ruination. It's just fairly awkward. All right, so we'll take this 8 from Trendemir. That's not a big deal. I mean, do we ever look to Flash Freeze kill Trendemir so that we can, like, if he tries to Ruination next turn, the Trendemir dies with it? I mean, I think I'm okay with this.
Not so fast.
He flips, only deals 1 damage to Darius. Okay. Because it just, like, strikes me as a space to where, like, harsh winds should be really common. Even just a Vengeance is enough to shut down our attack. I feel like we have to get Ashe on board. And then if he has a second Ruination, then I guess he just has it. Oh, cool. More Trendemirs. I think we're going to have to play to, like, Captain Farron a turn from now. But the thing that we may have turn up here is if he adds another unit to the board, we can flip the Ashe with our harsh winds. And so that might give us an angle to get ourselves out of this one. I'm not sure what unit he would play here for, like, 4 or 5 mana, but there's definitely a world to where he tries to put a dude on the board. But my angling and thinking with this here is he either plays a unit and we have the opportunity to get the win, right? We flash freeze 2 unit or frostbite 2 with harsh winds, 1 with Ashe. She flips, his whole team's frostbitten, so he can't block. That's kind of angle number 1. Angle number 2 is we can potentially go into next turn with a bunch of mana, and we have the mana to both harsh winds and Captain Farron, and then follow up with the double decimate. All right, but let's see where this gets us, though. He just spent a bunch of mana on not killing Ashe. I would assume he has another removal spell of some sort out here, right? He's not going to just... I am not entirely certain why he just didn't play all of his removals, but we do have a shot for lethal here. This is just going to be a harsh winds, right? How harsh are your winds, bro? Better think on it a little more. the high stakes gauntlet we're playing for the gold icon from season 1. I feel you, man. It takes a lot of thought, a lot of efforts. You got to make sure you're hitting it from every angle. What's up, Kitty? You want to hang out? You want to hang out, bud? Come on. We got plenty of time. We could take you down to the pet store and still have some fun out there. Find something to do. Does that kill Ashe? Sure does. Okay, so there's no reason to play Might. We kill a Tryndamere, and then we're still fine here, right? We get to bank up a bit of mana. Next turn, we can play Captain Farron, and we can play Harsh Winds. Then hopefully that gets us close enough to the old lethal. Oh, is that just like the... That can't be the only unit he has. He's playing Avarosian Sentries and Weirding Stones. He just managed to hit triple Tryndamere, though? Oh. I'm not one to talk about luck, but that... it seems like you could definitely do worse, right? You could definitely do worse. I'm not crazy, am I? I don't think I'm crazy. He just managed to hit 3 in a row, right? War Mother's Call just hits units. It doesn't hit just champions. It's not like a weird Feel the Rush or something. Just out here hitting triple Tryndamere. Oof. All right, come on, bud. Let's get a kitty out here. Oh. All right. Sure. Not sure if that was his intended outcome. Oh, shit. That's some funny stuff, wasn't it, bud? That's some funny stuff. Oh, did you all see his units die after he played the She Who Wanders? LOL. If you're going to take a half hour to think on every play, maybe think on that one a little bit more. Oh, that shit was funny, wasn't it, kitty? That shit was funny. All right. Back to the action, though. Looks like another delightful triple Shadow Isles lineup. I don't know why people like to do this. I mean, maybe this is why this is a dead game, right? And everybody's quit because you don't get to sit around and just play triple Shadow Isles against triple Shadow Isles lineups over and over and over again. Sounds fucking abysmal. I probably would have quit the game if I just played back then. It sounds terrible. All right, though. But, I mean, I worried ultimately about our Shiraza deck against these Shadow Isles lineups. I feel like if you're playing something like Lux Ionia or something, then we can look to bring the Shiraza deck, but these just feel a little bit too scary in my opinion. Do we want to hang on to Ashe? I'd rather just have something a little bit more interactive. See if we can't find her friend Omen Hawk or a Challenger or something. The Challengers aren't that great, I guess, but this feels like she's going to be It's like I want her to be ready to just like attack an OTK.
I pull the strings.
All right, world's best shatter number 2. Here it comes. Nice. Maybe I haven't been given shatter enough credit. Like I don't think it's good enough in the current like ladder meta, right? Don't get me wrong about that. I don't think it's going to be good there, but I mean maybe it does have a little bit more credence than I'm giving it credit for, as we're out here playing Foundations and then moving into the Rising Tides or whatever. Like as you get, does LeBlanc turn up in the Rising Tides, and so you get to play Ashe LeBlanc next week or something? Like maybe there's something there. But then the shatter, it starts to fall off. It's definitely just not good enough in the current meta, at least in my opinion. All right, what do we got? Ashe is turning up now. Okay. She got a bonus stat and stuff. The box. All right. Well, I guess you're going to die soon. You're not dying right now, but there's going to be a vile feast or something coming at you. Darius. I guess we can't complain too much about our Omen Hawk hitting champion. Getting a good collection of the old bonus stats out there. And a beam. Okay. Back alley barkeep, I like it. Way better than that dumb stuff we gotta see now. The barkeep on his own is okay. I don't want to be seeing these barkeeps come down with a coming down with a back alley bar. All right, now at what point do we get hit with the ruination here? Right? Is this it? Is this where we get ruinated? I mean, fine. It's probably enough. This is like the real pain point here is if he's like, well, I'm not going to play the Ruination, I'm just going to play the Vengeance, and it gets to take down your Darius. Like, I think ultimately all I'm coming down to with this is, I think as we're playing this format and not playing ladder, that if you're just going to be like running into these triple Shadow Isles lineups over and over and over again, you just have to be ready with bigger value packages. And I think that's going to be kind of like the learning point that we're about to hit, is that like we need more Captain Farrons, and we're like, if you plan to just ban Jinx Draven, you're going to have to play against Shadow Isles stuff. And so I think that's kind of where we're at. All right, can't ruinate this board, though. That combat's about to happen. All right, damage time. Here it comes.
Cold isn't the only danger.
Cold isn't the only danger, bro. You heard it here first, Lord Timo. There's lots of dangers other than cold. GG. Okay. 4 wins under our belts. Battle number 5 coming at you. That does get me, I did want to say, playing best of 3 for a 7-round tournament sounds like a lot. That's like, I was trying to think in my head like the amount of tournament that I feel like would be enough to feel like you did something good. And I feel like that's going to be like probably like 4 hours at max. And like the way I was kind of thinking about it is if you want to think of like a Magic draft where you take like a half hour to draft and then you play 3 best of 3s and your day's over with. I kind of feel like that's where you would land in kind of like a good amount of time. Maybe like one additional round or something. Or if it's the setup to where you're playing to 7 wins or 3 losses or something, right? As opposed to 7 wins or 2 losses in a row. The big distinction there being, let's do this. Let's ban out the Shadow Isles deck and see if we can't bring Shiraza the Blade. There we go. There we go. I don't suspect the Iceborne Legacy deck is gonna have flash freezes in it. But no, right? Because the thing that took forever in Expedition was what we would call like a full run, to where you had to play the full 13 games or whatever it was, to where you win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss the whole way through and had to play them all. And I think even then that usually took like 2.5, 3 hours, which wasn't, I guess, too long. But I don't feel like too many people are really amped about watching 2.5 hours, 3 hours of video. I certainly don't have as much awesome stuff to talk about to fill out that kind of thing. And so it just feels like it was probably a little too much. But I don't know. It's like I feel like on the one side, there should be the kind of long form tournament, right? That's where we're going to have seasonals, and we're going to have your like grassroots 5 rounds of Swiss with a top cut kind of thing. And I think that there should be something smaller than that. I don't think Riot adds very much to the equation if they're just taking that format that the other people are already doing, right? It's nice to have access to some of that longer form stuff in the terms of it's nice to have access to it in terms of like preparing for those events, but for like the daily signed on and grind, let me play this tournament kind of thing, I don't think that that's the way to do it. We're just fucking doing it all here. This is pretty sweet. We get to go into next turn with Kato, Shiraza, Zed, and the denies in hand. Get ready. Get ready. I'm going to go ahead and drop a laser beam. No. Okay. It's like I want to get to the next turn. I need to be able to deny this vengeance. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get your screenshots ready. Oh, and the ghost? Oof. Oof. Oh, this is pretty nice. Alright. Here it comes. Here it comes. Look out for Reavers, bro. 18 coming at you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did you look out for Reavers? That's a circle spell. That's not a harsh winds. It's not a harsh winds, bro. Look at this. They're totally dating. Look at that. He's all holding her in his hand and stuff. They look like a very happy couple. All right. All right. The Shiraza combo fucking coming at you, bruh. Coming at you. Whoop, whoop. Glad we got to pull that off. LOL. Oh, man. Best player in the world according to ftpbust.com. You're looking at him. It's FTP Bust. Pulling it off. Oof. Oof. That was a curve, right? Battlemaster into Zed, into Shiraza, into Kato with the Ghost, the Rush, and the Deny. That no interactivity package wasn't doing it for you, huh? All right, what do we do now? I feel like we need to try and get in a game with the Fiora deck, and so I don't want to play a mirror match. We'll ban out his Fiora, see if he leaves ours up. Great, he did. She's, I guess, a little scary to take into Yasuo with all the stuns and everything, but, you know, we'll risk it. Risk it for the biscuit, as they say. All right, Fiora Shen against Katarina Yasuo. We got our Fiora. We got the big judgment for the meme factor if we need to, but I think it's a little bit early to hold on to that. Shen's here as well. Now, the way that these Fiora decks were able to kind of classically work, and the way that we always talked about them in Expedition, is you just wouldn't play anything the first 2 turns of the game, right? You would just bank up to 3 mana, Then on turn 3, you would play your Fiora, and you would have the 3 mana banked up. You would typically use that for a Prismatic Barrier and Expedition, and then you could say play Prismatic Barrier, then you could play Riposte, and then from that point forward, you could then switch to, say, playing a single combat and a Prismatic Barrier or something, just a way to really pop off with everything. But the big one that I was wanting to get to talking about was Standalone, and Standalone does not exist anymore. It's a 4-mana play, so you used to be able to play Fiora on 3, then Standalone her up to 6/6, and this was like one of the best things you could be doing in the game. That's not legit anymore, but this is where it's kind of awkward with her now. She doesn't have a lot of great ways to come in. Now he brings in Yasuo. Like, shenanigans are clearly afoot, right? This is going to be some kind of stun, but if he's going to steal Tempest, then we can single combat and kill the Yasuo. Give you a little booperooski. Cool. Alright, you got stunned. You stunned me good. Oh, we lost our dude. That's okay. I wasn't expecting you to die, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, things are looking good here now. Go ahead and drop Shen. You have to worry a little bit about him having like a Will of Ionia here to send Fiora back to our hand, but if he's going to send her back at 1 tick, I think that's okay. You typically want to save your Will of Ionia until she has like 3. What? This is okay. I think that, like, we probably just have to envision at this point we're not going to win with OTKs. We're just going to win with board presence, I would imagine. We want to boost our Shen or protect our Shen a little bit. I don't think I'm that worried about it. Steel Tempest. Well, I keep the thing that keeps like digging into my head and makes me worried is Ravenous Flock, and it's like I keep thinking about it and knowing that Ravenous Flock isn't currently in the game, but that's the one that I'm ultimately worried about over and over again here. As I see, like, well, should I put this damage onto my Shen? Is it gonna be okay? Like, that's the worry factor is the Flock, but I think this is okay. Now here I'm just going to boost Shen. It's like, if we're going to have to deal with stuns and recalls over and over again with Fiora, let's at least make sure that he's got some strength to him here. So as this board stands, I'm not really worried about the small Blade Twirler. It's not going to deal enough damage to make me super scared, but the big ones are more problematic. Okay, that should shut down the turn. He only gets the 1 stun onto our 3/3. He still has the big Fiora to deal with. He doesn't want to attack into barrier Fiora. I think that probably stops it. Don't think we need to barrier Shen. But we can do some big stuff now. He's gonna flip.
True power requires restraint.
Kind of lame, dude.
I dare you.
I've got your back.
He says, oh no, I gotta stun the little bird. Little bird. Don't come at me like that. How much more we need? 2? Alright, I'll spend the 2. Got him, bird. Get him. Noise. Zigged and should have zagged. This is not a very impressive attack. Alright, I mean, I think we're pretty decent at this space. Without him having Yasuo, these stuns are just pretty meaningless, and now we have a lot of scary attacks across the board.
Free and lonesome as a summer breeze.
The Mina brings in recalls. That's annoying, but he's already attacked for the round. Sure.
Might not have wings.
Does Shen still cost 3 at this point?
Here's our chance. Now who's got the upper?
No, that's kind of annoying.
Always 2 steps ahead.
Alright, so Fiora's the expensive one. I want to wait till next turn because Shen's going to give himself barrier. He lost out on some of those stacks, right? He's not going to flip at this point, but I don't think Shen flipping is ultimately that important.
Here's our chance.
Break their spirits and their souls.
Alright, so here is our attacking crew. Definitely want to send a hook into the Blade Twirler. And so it's the question is like, how greedy can we get with this? In that if we say rush our Laurent Protege and send it at the Blade Twirler, I don't think we want to use the Protege, right? I think we probably want to use the bird. Then we can do this, and this. Let's give ourselves some decent value combats here. If he wants to play stuns, it's not the end of the world. If he has a combat trick to try and take down the bird, it's not the end of the world. And then he's kind of running out of stuff. It would be nice if we had like a River Shaper or something. We haven't really picked up any card draw, but I think we're okay to continue on the grind. That's a big old boy. All right, block. What else are you supposed to say about that guy? I guess you do have to worry about like a might, but we don't have any bigger units to block him with. There's a River Shaper. Rivers shape the land and give it life. You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. Okay. Not even really upset about the Fiora. It would be nice to, get some of these bigger challenges in, but she's ultimately not that important right now. I would like to draw some cards, though. If you want to let me do some of that. We'll get that Fiora OTK with the Judgment. And a single combat. Alright, we'll probably just wait on the single combat. It's like I just try to envision getting a really big turn out of it. How do we do this? I mean, we can flip the Fiora.
They are under my protection.
Or we can flip the Shen. We can block with Fiora. Like, we might as well just twin disciplines, right? Take this guy down. We have the protection with the deny. Woo! Mm. Good stuff, friends. Good stuff.
Will no match.
We up to that final battle? You only get one shot at glory. This is it. Our one shot. Mom's spaghetti. Oh, man. Oof. We already played this guy, right? 2-4 to play Magic. All right. Well, I'm going to ban out the Shadow Isles deck. What did we leave up last time? I don't remember. I don't want to play this again. Just get it out of here. Like, I don't think he ever plays Lux Braum. I don't know what Lux Braum actually is, but it doesn't seem like a particularly strong deck. And so then I think our Ashe deck should be strong against both of these. I don't know. But oh, he does bring Lux Braum. This is going to be playing like Remembrance and stuff? I don't know. This looks like a pretty powerful hand against it, though. I almost want to keep the Hearthguard. Just I know you can't be doing stuff like that, but I've enjoyed it so much in this format. I kind of want to let it stick around for a bit.
I need just a moment.
Oh, we just get that 5-piece nugget in? This was like such a humongous play in Expedition when nobody wanted to interact with your 2-drop and they just took that 5-hit. Like, I feel like we won like 80% of our games at least once we got that turn 2 hit in with the Glory Seeker. It was always so huge. All right, I was going to say, I don't know if he's going to just try and ramp or if he's going to play an Avalanche, but we play into Avalanche spectacularly here. And now, like,
I will unite the
are you really wanting to make tempo plays onto this board? What are you going to do? Are you going to add a Braum? Like, you're about to take a 10-piece nugget and your unit's going to fucking die. Like, that can't feel good. Can't feel good. Silence. Okay. Now we're getting ourselves set up for this big turn again to where we flip our Ashe and then open attack. Right? So you don't even have to flash freeze the Braum. He's just small mode as it is. Poor guy. Poor guy. Okay. I'm ready to slam. So it looks like we want to play these Icebell Archers to start with. And then next turn we'll play into Harsh Winds. This feels so much easier than that Shadow Isles deck. I don't know if it's just because we have a good draw or he had a bad draw, or if it's just that the stuff isn't going as needed, or just because the Shadow Isles are actually good back then. But man, feels like we're going murder mode on this stuff. Entreat's not what you want to be doing here. You can't even play Lux. Like, why would you entreat? I guess this makes some sense. If you're going to try and draw the +3/+3 for Braum. I had to stop and read these. I thought you couldn't flash freeze your own units, but it's like, what if we flash freeze our own unit and get to, and then we get to prevent the damage so he can't take heart. Uh-oh. Are you going to take heart? We're going to play our Archer, open with Ashe. Your whole team's going to have 0 attack and can't block. Seems pretty good. Seems all right. Dude, you were supposed to play your card. Play your card. Why didn't you play your card, bro? All right, well, I think we can add the Yeti. It's another one. I mean, it plays around Avalanche. I still suspect we'll be able to get the Ashe flip this turn. If he adds another unit, then we can look to Brittle Steel, the Mighty Poro, and then the Ashe Arrow will hit his Lux or whatever he's going to play this turn. Yeah, we just murdered Lux. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. All right. Nothing can block. He's only got 3 mana. All his dudes are frostbitten. That should do it. GG. Prom Glory is ours. Well, it's not Prime Glory. I lost the first one. But the new icon is ours. I feel like I already had that as well. But I feel like I had the icon from Season 1. Because I did play a bit of like budget constructed back then. But I'm pretty sure from like 2 weeks into the game, I just quit playing constructed and played Expedition nonstop. But hey, you know, our lineup was good for victory. The Ashe deck was pretty strong here. To give a bit of chit chat about these decks, in terms of Ashe Darius, I felt like this was the real superstar of our lineup. I felt like this was good. This should be a deck that's pretty capable of running into this format over and over again. Now, the thing that I think we're going to be running into if we try to play these a little bit more and try our hardest to hit the 7 wins, I think the vast majority of the way, you're either going to run into triple Shadow Isles or you're going to run into double Shadow Isles Draven. And if you're going to be in the mindset to where you're just going to ban Jinx Draven, which is probably a pretty safe mindset to be in, then you're going to have to be playing the Shadow Isles decks, and you need to kind of tune your decks accordingly. I haven't really done any tuning to these decks to make it fit that mold, but I think for things here like Ashe Darius, we probably want to have a second copy of Captain Farron, and then just something to make it like a little bit more value-centric. I can't like immediately think of any cards that are just kind of like, good card draw kind of things, but I would like to have just like another value play in this deck, because it felt like we were running out of cards too early. And so that's thing number one. Thing number two, this probably has a place for Decimate on it. We were running into a lot of games to where we just didn't have that reach, and it's just like units just get so bad in the late game, right? As you're playing against those Shadow Isles decks, and they have that sequencing to where you have to decide, am I playing around Vengeance or am I playing around the Ruination? And it's like they're probably playing 3 Vengeances, but probably just like 1 or 2 Ruinations. And so you probably, for the most part, just have to be like, oh, fuck it, I'll play around Vengeance. But it did seem nice to have access to things like Decimate in those spaces, because you just do the damage to face, and you don't have to worry about the mountain of removals. But I could also see the flip side of the argument that if your opponent's going to be playing like triple Vile Feast, triple Grasp of the Undying, then the Decimate probably isn't enough, especially in a mid-rangey kind of deck like this. And so I'm not sure exactly what the answer is. I know one more Captain Farron should come in, but I would like to have like an additional value play. Otherwise, I was really happy with the kind of like general play pattern of this deck, to where we have the flash freezes and the good challengers, and it all ties into Ashe, and Ashe getting those super OTKs. Like, that was all pretty nice and well and strong. I guess another angle against the Shadow Isles decks is the flash freezes are kind of decent there if you're going to be looking to get kills with like Tryndamere atrocities. Then you have the opportunity to flash freeze out an atrocity. At that point in the game, you've probably already lost anyways, but they do have a touch of value there. But again, I think this was the good deck of our lineup here. Up next was Fiora Shen. I didn't play it too much because this isn't a deck that I play a lot of, and this is kind of one of those things as like playing Nami when Nami was really strong over the past couple of seasons, and that I'm not saying that it's not a strong deck, but if you're going to just play that single deck over and over and over again, right? If your goal is to be the best player in the world and you can play like 20 games, 30 games of Fiora Shen or Nami or the Powder Pandemonium deck, then you have the opportunity to get like really good at those decks that have the weird play patterns. But if you're in the space that I'm in, as to where, I get to play like 5 practice games and then I try to record 8 games in a row, and then the next day I have to play a different deck, and the next day I have to play a different deck, I don't get the reps in that you really need to be proficient with something like Fiora Shen. And so we were successful enough with it today. We pulled down some victories. There may be a space in this format to where this is good. My inkling and my worry with a deck like Fiora Shen is that it's too slow against Jinx Draven, and then against like the Shadow Isles decks that are trying to kill you with Atrocity, they just won't play units, and so you can't actually get kills with Fiora or anything. They'll just wait until like turn 8 and play Tryndamere, and then that'll be the only unit that you see. And so you can't get the Fiora OTKs, and then you're just like really playing into their game plan. And so I don't think it's good there. I think this kind of middle space to where you get to play the mid-rangey decks like Yasuo just won't exist, and this won't be particularly strong in this format. And so I don't think I can recommend it, but again, I'm not a big Fiora Shen type player. It's just not something that's really in my wheelhouse. Then lastly, with the Zed Katarina, this was our meme deck of the run, and man, we got to pull it off. I'm really excited. We got that Shiraza Kato combo with the Ghost on Shiraza to just get the big chunk of damage in. That's what life's all about. I was really glad with how that panned out. In terms of this deck, it's fine. You might be able to find a better deck for Zed. You might be able to find a better deck for Katarina. There's a reasonable argument that Katarina should fit into the Ashe deck instead of Darius, and you could run with that. But I think Katarina is most certainly one of the stronger champions that you can be dealing with this in this format. And it should, like, if you're playing one Noxus deck, that Noxus deck should probably be playing Katarina. She's just incredibly strong. The Katarina of new is just way better than the one of old, with her generating the blade's edges and the infinite value that you get out of her. It's all in all pretty powerful. And so I do admit that this deck here was a bit of a meme. It's probably better to say like branch Zed off into the elusives and then find a different Noxus deck for Katarina. If you're wanting to bring the triple aggro lineup, you could do say like Zed elusives, Draven, and then have Katarina as your third deck and some kind of other Noxus aggro kind of thing. But I readily admit this one is just kind of here for the memes and for the cool stuff. And hey, we got the 2 wins with it, and it did what it needed to do. And so, it was pretty good in that sense. But again, if you are looking to bring this, you do need to kind of pick and choose your spots. You don't really want to be running this against Shadow Isles, right? It's the early core of your game plan is like Precious Pet, Legion Saboteur, and half of a House Spider all dying to Vile Feast. You're going to start running into issues and just have too many early game draws as to where you were like, oh man, I had a Saboteur into House Spider and did fuck all because of my opponent's Vile Feasts and AoEs. And so, again, you need to kind of like pick and choose your matchups with this. It can win, it can get some games, but in the perfect world of bringing the most optimal lineup, you probably don't want the Shiraza combo. In the world of hitting them with the memes and getting the good screenshots and everything, then you probably do. And so, good stuff, good set of games. We got our gold icon. Victory is ours. And so that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.